Rome, 67 AD. The Emperor Nero parades through the Forum with his new bride, a vision of silk and jewels. But the crowd's silence is deafening because they know the truth. The woman beside him was not born a woman at all. This is the story of Sporus, a boy who became the living ghost of an emperor's dead wife. A tale where absolute power didn't just corrupt, it created a living nightmare. Nero's descent didn't begin with madness, but with promise. Crowned at 16, he was initially hailed as a generous, artistic ruler. But the isolation of godlike power is a poison. By his mid-20s, the emperor's world had shrunk to a single obsessive point: his wife, Poppaea Sabina. Poppaea was more than beautiful. She was formidable, sharp, ambitious, and unafraid. She was the one person in Nero's universe who dared to contradict him. This made her indispensable, and it made her a target. Their relationship was a volatile fusion of passion and power struggle. Then, in 65 AD, during a violent argument, Nero killed her. Historians disagree on the blow, a kick, a punch, but the outcome was certain. Poppaea, pregnant with their child, was dead by his hand. In that moment, the emperor's fragile psyche shattered. His grief was a spectacle of delusion. He refused to bury her, having her body embalmed instead. He spoke to her corpse, declared her a goddess, and demanded the court act as if she still lived. But a corpse makes for poor company. Nero needed a replacement, not a new wife, but a resurrection. Enter Sporus, a young freedman in the imperial household, perhaps 14 or 15. His crime? Bearing an uncanny, haunting resemblance to the dead empress. When Nero's broken mind fixed on that face, Sporus ceased to be a person. He became a project, a canvas for the emperor's most grotesque fantasy. He was not seen as a boy, but as raw material for a ghost. The emperor's solution was not just cross-dressing. It was a calculated, surgical annihilation. Nero summoned his physicians and ordered them to correct nature's mistake. Sporus was subjected to a brutal, primitive castration. This wasn't medicine. It was butchery designed to sculpt a living memorial. The procedure, agonizing and perilous, forever stripped him of his physical identity and any future he might have imagined. Upon recovery, the real transformation began. Sporus was given Poppaea's name, Sabina. He was cloistered with tutors who taught him the minutiae of feminine performance, how to walk, speak, gesture, and smile like an aristocratic Roman woman. Seamstresses crafted gowns to disguise his form. Jewelers fitted him with the dead empress's own gems. Every day was a lesson in erasing himself. Can you imagine the psychological torment of becoming a stranger in your own skin? In the spring of 67 AD, Nero staged a full imperial wedding. The ceremony was a masterpiece of macabre theater. Dignitaries offered congratulations to the emperor and his bride, participating in a collective lie that hung thick in the air. With this act, Nero believed he had cheated death itself. For Sporus, the gilded cage was now absolute. He was Nero's empress in every public and private sense. He attended state functions, hosted banquets, and shared the emperor's bed. Nero called him by Poppaea's name, shared memories with him that belonged to a dead woman, and demanded he respond in character. Sporus became a consummate actor in a role that was consuming his soul. The strain etched itself into a deepening melancholy, visible only beneath the perfect, painted facade. This grotesque pantomime lasted over 2 years, even accompanying Nero on a tour of Greece. But back in Rome, the empire had reached its limit. Revolts erupted. The Senate declared Nero a public enemy. In 68 AD, the emperor fled, taking Sporus with him, a prized, living relic of his lost world. Cornered in a villa, Nero took his own life. But for Sporus, death was a mercy denied. He became a spoil of war, an infamous trophy passed between the men who scrambled for Nero's vacant throne. First, Nymphidius Sabinus claimed him, then Otho, then Vitellius. Each, in turn, forced him to continue the performance, keeping him in silks, and using him as a dark reminder of the power they now wielded. He was a ghost haunting a new generation of tyrants. His final captor, Vitellius, conceived the ultimate degradation. He planned to force Sporus to perform in a sexually violent public spectacle in the Colosseum. Faced with this final, unconscionable humiliation, Sporus made the only choice that had ever been truly his. He chose to die. By poison, around 69 AD, he ended his own life. He was likely not yet 20. In his final act, Sporus reclaimed a fragment of the agency stolen from him as a boy. His story is not merely one of ancient excess, but a profound study in identity theft. Nero did not just want to look alike. He wanted to overwrite one human being with the memory of another. Sporus was forced to become a living, breathing cenotaph. We remember Sporus not as a curiosity, but as a stark lesson. His life shows how absolute power seeks to remake reality itself. His quiet tragedy echoes through history, a reminder that behind the grand narratives of emperors and empires are individual souls, used, broken, and too often forgotten. If you believe these hidden human stories deserve to be heard, help us bring more of them to light. Subscribe to Winds of Thought, and if this narrative moved you, hit the like button. It genuinely supports our channel. Let us know in the comments, what other forgotten figures from history should we explore next?